साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ Sai Ram, everyone. Welcome to yet another Sunday of Govind Satsangh. And today being a wonderful, auspicious day, we also are blessed to have yet another gem from his institution talking to us today, Brother CVK Sastry, who is not new to many of us in Singapore, as we have heard him during the recent Guru Purnima Satsangh. But there's so much more for us to learn of his experiences at his lotus feet. To give you a very simple introduction, I got this forwarded message a short while ago. Swami often says that he creates reflections of himself, or rather he tells us to be an image of him, rather than just being a reflection of his message. If you imagine you were in a lovely, plush job, teaching a wonderful educational institution in the heart of a bustling city like Nairobi, and one fine day you heard a call saying, there is a school 70 kilometers away, there is no electricity, there is nothing, and would you like to head that? And if someone was to say yes, whatever be the sankalpa, that tells you the conditioning that takes place when you become a student. And that is what Brother CVK Sastry is about, from what I have got to gather. I've always, is very humble. He doesn't talk much on his achievements, but definitely for someone to have traveled the journey of education from the time of leaving the institute to being part of some wonderful experiences and still being ever connected to Swami through that process is something that not many of us would probably have as an opportunity, and it will be wonderful to listen to him. To give you a quick introduction, Brother CVK Sastry joined Sathya Sai Institute in his 11th standard. That was the first batch of the higher secondary school in CBSE medium in 1982, and went all the way to finish his master's in physics in 1989. Ever since, he has been in the field of education. Currently, he is the head of school of the Global Indian International School in Singapore, and we are blessed to have him with us today. And without further ado, let me request Brother CVK Sastry to take us through not just his 7 years at Prashanthi Nilayam, but the multiple years since then, where Swami has constantly shown him that he is by his side and we are mere instruments. Over to you, brother. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Brother Venkatraman, I think, for the introduction. So wonderful of you. First of all, I must congratulate you thank you also so much for the effort that you have put to bring in all the alumni, one by one, decade-wise, to make us all to hear the wonderful experience that all other brothers have shared. And of course, there's no end to his story. For each one of us, probably, when he picks us up as students or as devotees, we have so many things to share. I think it's the wonderful forum that you have created for all the devotees across the globe. So that is his sankalpa, and through you that we have this wonderful forum. And just an example is Brother Kamdar, for example, for almost after 16 years, I am seeing him face to face through this. A lot of things I will share as we go along. Is another blessed soul, Brother Kamdar, wonderful devotee of Swami. But for so many instruments that through, the devotees that were there in Kenya, probably I would not have been what I am today. So with that, I'd like to divide my sharing to 2 or 3 parts. First thing is how I came to Swami actually. We are from a family of not of Sai fold, but my parents are all great, spiritual souls, because they believe in Lord Balaji, our Ishtadevata, and they have been, into various, spiritual leaders they have been in touch with. So my father, once he thought that he must put me into a good school, and when I was in grade 5, luckily got into a residential school, AP state government residential school, one of the top schools that is well known for the academic grades and achievement scholarship. So at that time, so I got in, I completed my grade 10, about to complete. When I was in grade 9, my father was looking for a good school for my younger brother. And he landed up in a place called Madanpalli, which is very short distance from Puttaparthi. He was looking for Rishi Valley School, Jiddu Krishnamurthy School for my brother. So unfortunately, whatever the reason, they said there's no vacancy at the moment. So he found that Puttaparthi is very nearby. So he just jumped into the bus and they landed in Parthi. And he found to his surprise that they were great institutions and it's a great, peaceful environment. So he thought that after my grade 10, probably, he should try for me in Puttaparthi. Because in Parthi also, for my brother, younger one, they said they won't take him in the middle of the academic year. So that's how after my grade 10, obviously, whatever the ranks and percentages I got, all that was kept aside. And my father spoke to me and said that probably you have a great opportunity to be at Sathya Sai institutions. So we tried to apply and we got a call for interview. At that time, there was no written test as you all have today. So it was all based on percentages that somebody would score. So we landed in, we were traveling to Parthi. So it's like changing 2 trains and 2 buses. So the bus from Anantapur to Parthi, first incident that I saw Swami's institution was Anantapur Institute. So where there was a board, say Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. So I asked my dad that word, what do you mean by that higher learning? I think I'm still in equipping myself through this life, that higher learning, what it means. So probably as a 15-year-old, the question that I asked him still is relevant for me. So that's how it started. And we landed in Puttaparthi, and there were some people who were appearing for that. And the moment they came to my percentage, all my friends, who was later on became my, batchmates also were worried. Oh, people like you are coming with high percentages, where are we going to get? But anyway, it is Swami's grace purely that I was through the interview and then got admitted. So first and foremost thing I must honestly share with you all was, I was so much attracted by all the sayings and teachings that were kept all around Puttaparthi, right from my hostel to ashram. You would see on the left side of the road, there were boards kept. And even at that time, there was no Kulwant Hall. As you all can see that, 1980s, just standing mandir there with sands around. So there were some sayings that were kept. So I had a habit of taking a book and writing down all of them. So I used to write down and enjoy his quotations and teachings. So that's how it started. But the first instance of Swami, I think physical interaction was that he used to come almost every single day amidst us. At that time in 82, there were around maybe 150 to 200 students, maybe not filling even the entire veranda there, three-fourths or maybe. One day I had high fever, like my body was burning. So Swami was just standing next to me, just looking at each other one by one, and he was walking through. Then I just put my hand like this, my right hand. I said, Swami, I have fever. So Swami held my hand like this, and he just smiled and he said, it's 98.4. So that was the first ever interaction probably I had with Swami. Subsequently, my first birthday, with Puttaparthi to celebrate as birthday boys, you will have to take your tray there. You go and, with the Swami's, lavangs and chocolates, etc. So, and also at that time, Swami used to take the garlands. We used to offer garlands to Swami as birthday students. So I was just getting up, trying to put the garland. I was almost shaking, I would say, to be very frank. So nervous for the first time. So Swami just touched the garland and said, where do you come from? So I just said, Swami, I just named the place. My father was working at that time, Kakinada. So I told him I am from Kakinada. Then Swami said, oh, you are from Kakinada is in a district called East Godavari. So the East Godavari people speak loud. So then Swami said, oh, you must speak loud. So you are from East Godavari. So then Swami said, nothing much. So he blessed me, and then, he usually throws the chocolates and then all that and took the lavang. That was second interaction that I had. So most important thing that I would like to share with you all, in those 2 years, especially my grade 11 and grade 12, invariably every other day he used to be amidst us. Very few people, very few students. So every other day he would just look at us like one to one, eye to eye contact used to be there. There were a lot of messages that he would have probably, passed to us. But when he used to talk to one student or the other, so many other messages have spread to all other students. He used to tell, though I'm speaking to one student, it's not for him alone, it is for all of you. So some of those I would like to share with you all. For example, he used to ask us, what is the breakfast today? So somebody would say, Swami, it is puri and aloo puri. So then he would take a clue from there and he would say, okay, if you're, all of us used to get involved in rolling chapatis or puris in the hostel. So Swami used to say, when you're rolling the chapati or puri, you think that you're flattening your ego. Though he used to say that in the public discourses, but he was very clear and lovingly he would say. And secondly, most stunning thing for me was that Swami is God. Swami is, like so many devotees all around. And but he used to come down and tell us how our personal upkeep should be. You all need to wash your clothes regularly, and you must make sure that your clothes are spick and span. You must keep them, you don't wear the same thing twice. So those small nitty-gritties he used to tell. When you look back and think of those, and he never made us to feel that he's somewhat like, divine there up sitting and then we are there. So he never made us to feel that. Though I am not from a family of Sai fold, so that's how his messages has really touched my heart. And we used to do a lot of the activities in the hostel as well as part of self grooming. Swami used to give us opportunities, as Swami used to always say, self reliance is very important. He always used to say that I do not have any secretaries. So the example for that was one simple observation that I always used to make is that Swami, whenever he used to get out of his interview room for the darshan, he always used to switch off the light. And then when he used to get in, take the people and go in, he would never ask anyone to switch on that light also. He would go himself and he would switch on that light. So he had shown us the energy saving, how important it is. So through such small acts, and and small, he used to give us tips about how to control the anger. So he would say one day he shouted at our warden for some discipline issue right in front of us in the veranda there, and then he just vanished, just walked in very quickly. Then he, came back after some time, and he said, "You know what Swami did?" He himself would, he just came out and very smilingly said, "Swami just went in to have a glass of water." So you get angry, you have a glass of water, or you walk away from that place. So he, for an instance, he just shouted at the warden, and in 2 seconds he went inside. Whatever Swami said, that whatever he says, he does. It is not just for saying. So that was one nice thing that I can never ever forget. So all of us also know that Swami had created the drama when he was a child. Cheppinattu chestara. In Telugu, it means that do you do what you say. So like that, Swami used to share with us so many uh, practical things with us. And once actually, I was handing over a letter to Swami when I was trying to about to finish my grade 12, and let's say end of the first term of grade 12. So IIT and all that, there's a craze for that. Whole family members saying that, okay, why don't you try, you just given an attempt and all that. So I was just handing over a letter to Swami to bless. I still remember Swami just blessing, saying that Manchidi Bangaru. Only once in my 7 years he said, but Swami also explained, when he says Bangaru means it's like, you're ready, be ready for the process of the gold getting, through the, what do you call that, the fire before it becomes an ornament, whatever we say, how you interpret Manchidi Bangaru. So that I came to know as, it unfolded. At the fag end of 12th class, I given my board examinations, and I went home. I was identified with jaundice. So full 1 month, it was severe jaundice. I could not move from the bed. There was no exam that I could give at the end of grade 12. Then what to do? The issue is, I told my parents, I'm not going to try anywhere else. I'll continue in Swami's institutes. There's no going back on that. If I'm unable to give any engineering, then my parents said, beat and continue. And I should be grateful there as well. So they immediately agreed, and I continued for my graduation for BSc, because at that time our principal, Dr. Habbu, used to be there. And he always used to tell us also, please don't go anywhere. You're just a Hanuman jump from the higher secondary campus to the higher Institute of Higher Learning. So just, take the best benefit of it. Probably his blessings and Swami's grace that probably landed me up there for the, graduation course. So then I will continue to say about that Manchidi Bangaru as we move on. So every year, whenever the university results used to come, my degree first year, second year, up to third year, I still remember every year end, when before the results used to be declared by the university, Swami would lovingly just walk through our lines, and he would say, pick up somebody and say, what is your name? Or then he would just wait for a second and say, oh, this is the grade you got, or you need to improve further. So, he would, just like that, he would pick somebody. So as he was walking through, he just, one of the years, he just came through. Then he asked me, what is your name? I simply said, as everybody calls me Shastri, so I simply said Shastri. Swami said, oh, which Shastri? Gangadhar Shastri, Bal Gangadhar Shastri, go on. He said 2-3 Shastris. So I then said, Swami CVK. Then Swami repeated CVK. So today also my popular name as a student or even otherwise in my professional field, everybody, most of them calls me CVK as well. So that he repeated CVK, and he said, good. That's all. He did not reveal my grade. He just said good. And then, so every moment that he had looked at us or he had spoken to us it's like, imprinted in our hearts. It cannot be erased. So every time he looked at us, there was a message that he used to convey to us. There was one stunning incident that happened when I was in my, I think I was just about to finish my year 2 of graduation, getting into year 3. No, that was in 1984, the year before the 60th birthday of Swami. That was 1984. That I just finished my grade 12, joined my graduation there, first year of my BSc. So all of a sudden, one day, my eldest brother-in-law, along with my sister, eldest sister, and another uncle of mine, they just met me outside the institute gate. And I asked them what happened. My eldest brother, sister had some issue because she lost a child and she became a bit, her health was not okay. They said that they've come to take Swami's blessings and they want to spend some time in Parthi. So then they stayed on for a month and 2 months. My sister's health is not improving. Rather, it was deteriorating. Then my mother also came. My mother came from, at that time, my father was staying in Mumbai and my mother all the way came from Mumbai to Parthi to give support hand to my brother-in-law. So still the day by day, the situation is becoming worse. I was writing letters, giving it to Swami. Swami was accepting letters, but no word from him. And one day I said, it's not like this. Now I should take special permission from warden. I must be in the front row. And I must just reach out to Swami. So then I asked warden. Warden said, fine, go ahead, Shastri, there's no problem. So I ran. I was almost the first person to sit in the front row. That was somewhere in 84 September. Swami came out for darshan. He almost ignored me. He walked through the ladies' side, finished the gent side. He picked up few VIPs for the interview. Some of the singers, I believe, I remember vaguely, some top singers, and so some musicians were there. It was a big group. Swami took them for interview. He didn't even look at me. Then the interview was over. Took a quite long interview it was, I believe. Bhajans have started. After the bhajans started, then the interview was over, and Swami, from the interview room, he straight away went into the throne and in the bhajan hall, and he sat there. And I could not contain my emotions, and I started crying bitterly and looking at Swami. I said, I took permission from the warden. At one hand, my mother is really suffering with my eldest sister, and I was trying to reach out to you. I thought this is one of the occasions I can easily reach out to you, and took permission from the warden. You ignored me, and all the emotions, from within started swelling up, and I was literally crying. So the tears were flowing down my ears, the eyes, and Swami was standing this side. When he turns through the door and he looks at us, then I was even in my thought, I was saying, now you're just turning and looking at us through the door, but absolutely you're not looking at me. And the moment I thought that it's all, just looking at, and you're looking into the thin air, not at us. So like those kind of thoughts, very negative thoughts were going through my mind. Swami got up from the throne. He came straight to me and he asked me, what happened? And I said only one word. Swami, my sister, I did not even say my sister is not well. I said my sister, that's it. Swami said, where are they? I was looking at the ladies' line side, thinking that they would be there. I said, Swami, they are here in Parthi. Swami just took a second. He said only one word in Telugu. Nenu chuskuntanule. He said, Nenu chuskuntanule means I will take care of her. And he created vibhuti and he gave it, and he said, don't worry. That's it. Further, what Swami did and what all happened in my sister's life is something great that I must share with you all. That one word of Swami, that name chuskuntanule. Because I forgot completely. Okay, Swami said blessing, he gave vibhuti, everything went off. Then So I was still looking for Swami to give an interview, to my parent, my mother, my brother-in-law. They were still waiting. So I was writing letters, giving it to Swami. It was very close to, preparations for 60th birthday, because they waited till November. The lot of crowd was coming in. So then Swami one day appeared in my dream. He said, I've told you that name Suskuntanle. So ask them to leave Parthi now. They cannot, because the accommodation is a problem. Let them go to Hyderabad. This much he told. I can still remember that, the dream very vividly. So then I told my parents next day, my mother, that, they can take the sister and go back to Hyderabad. So because it was very difficult, Puttaparthi is selling up a lot of devotees and no accommodation also. They were trying very hard. So they left for Hyderabad. Because Swami blessed with the Vibhuti and Prasad, so they said that itself is a blessing. So they were further not waiting. They left for Hyderabad. Then after a year or so, my sister again, carrying. And then when the baby was about to be born, it was found by the doctors that the blood group of the boy, the baby, and the mother were not matching. So the blood has to be, given the exact same blood group of that boy in the womb to be given, and only then the boy delivery can take place. It's a very specialized operation that needs to be done very carefully. There is a hospital called Nilofer Hospital in Hyderabad. So my parents, could find one doctor, professor. So she said that she would undertake this operation, but she also kept her, fingers crossed, said that it's only God's grace. I'm keeping everything on God, and then I will do this operation. She took an undertaking. And my mother and my sister were sitting just early hours of the particular day of the operation. And the operation is about to commence in about half an hour time or so. Not my mother, my Badima, my mother's eldest sister was sitting with my sister. My mother was at home. So Swami at that time appeared in front of my Badima in Ardhanarishwar form. And Swami simply told her, it is time for operation. Ask them to take her inside. Ask the people to take her inside, and I am with you all. And she was just thinking, is it a dream or is it something real? So she was about to say Swami and move forward, and Swami vanished. And she was taken in, and the operation was successful. And that boy today he's named as Sai Vittal, and the boy was born absolutely fine. And he is now assistant professor of psychology in Osmania University. So when Swami says one word on that day, that name Susukuntanle, has so much that he has taken care of. So that was one incident that has made me strong in his faith. Okay, there was another incident I would like to say, that as I already said that, Swami never made us to feel that he was divine or something like that. In 80, I don't remember the year exactly, it was one last visit of Indira Gandhi to Andhra Pradesh. And then her helicopters were flying over Puttaparthi. She was actually going to reach a place called Hindupur, very near to Puttaparthi. And 3 helicopters, on top of Parthi, they were flying. So a lot of sound when you can see that 3 helicopters were flying. So Swami was standing near a pillar there, a corner pillar. There's one corner pillar in the mandir, which has a lot of significance. So Swami was simply standing there, and we were all forgetting Swami, we were looking up the sky. Swami also looked up the sky. And Swami looked up the sky and said, it is Indira Gandhi flying over Puttaparthi. She's going to Hindupur. She wanted to land in Puttaparthi, but Swami did not give permission. And Swami next sentence was, no one can enter Puttaparthi without Swami's permission. You know what is the significance of that? After, I think less than a month or so, she visited Orissa, and after that, she was shot dead. And you must see the emotions that Swami expressed. Swami came out for darshan, and the day Indira Gandhi was shot, Swami said only one thing I still remember. She has done good or bad, but the way she was shot was not good. And we could see the emotions on Swami's face the day Indira Gandhi was shot. So Swami, at one time he was divine. His miracles are the way he helps us. I mean, helps each one of us. And at the same time, with children, he always appeared as if he's not divine. And another incident that has carried through my life, and it was left an indelible, strong impression on me, was in one of the years, all of us know Sunil Gavaskar visited Parthi along with his brother-in-law Gundappa Vishwanath. So Swami gave an interview for both Vishwanath and as well as to Gavaskar. After the interview, Swami comes out of the interview room and he does usually this one, and he says, Swami is going to conduct World Cup cricket. In 1984, brothers and sisters, believe me or not, we at hostel, we were struggling hard to have a small volleyball court and have a football field by removing the thorns. That was the status of Hillview Stadium, what we see today. So we went back to hostel, not able to understand what Swami was telling, that he's going to conduct a World Cup cricket. So cricket match in Puttaparthi, we do not have a stadium. So then, we just had some jokes done in hostel as usual, and then we forgot about it. But after 15 good years in Kenya, I was in Nairobi in 1999, January. I don't remember the date exactly. I happened to visit one of my friend's house because I didn't have a TV at that time probably, and he had a TV, so I probably just walked across to say hello to him, or some reason was there. When I walked into his house, the TV was running. And underneath that, this Lawal, Sawal, God is one. So it's a scroll that was going on. I said, what is this going on? Then that my friend said, some match in Puttaparthi. And I just sat there to just, see that it was India 11 versus the World 11 cricket match that was going on. But Swami made that statement in 1984 and 1999, after 15 years, this cricket match took place. Every word that Swami spoke had to come true. And another incident I would say, because 1999, I am recollecting one more incident. One of our brothers, in Nairobi, his name is Anil Mehta, I can take his name as well, happened to have interview with Swami because he was part of the study circle. So it happened in the same year, 1999, in Puttaparthi. So Swami, during the course of interview, Swami created a shivaling. And he gave that shivaling to this brother, Anil Mehta. And then after he received the shivaling, Swami said, it is not for you, it is for the Sai Center in Nairobi. And then brother Anil Mehta said, Swami, you told me that you would give me a shivaling 15 years ago. Then Swami immediately retorted and said to him one stunning statement, whether it is 15 years or it is 150 years or 1500 years, Swami once makes a word or a commitment, it will be done. And that was another thing that has really made me, that Swami, once a word is uttered, it has to come true. Another thing was, in 83 or so, Vajpayee and Advani visited Parthi. And we still remember Swami finished the general darshan. Then he just came. I still loudly remember Swami putting a finger at Vajpayee and saying, Prime Minister, come in. At that time, there were two lone BJP MPs. And it took as many 14 years for him to get into power as Prime Minister. But he did become Prime Minister. So these are a couple of things that whatever I heard in the veranda there, and Swami, is to reveal to us. I think I shared this with some of brothers earlier, but it is worth repeating. One of the days, we did the SUPW, socially useful product work. Under that, we have, implanted some trees in the Hillview Stadium approach. At that time, already Hillview Stadium was made because our sports day started. So we started planting trees along the approach road to the Hillview Stadium. So, and then we went for darshan. Swami looked at one of our lecturers, Gangadhar Sastry, and then he casually said, Yemi Gangadhar Sastry, Yemankuntunnavu. In Telugu it means that, what Gangadhar Sastry, what do you think? Swami, we don't know what he was thinking, but Swami just said, Papam, all students have worked very hard. They have planted a lot of SCPW work. They have done a lot of trees they have planted. Swami then made a statement. You all would see Vishwa Virat Swarup very soon. That was in the year, I think, around 84, 85 there. And we could see the way in which Patti has developed and grown up manifold. And there was not even one single tree on the hill of the administrative block. Today, you don't even see a stone. It's full of greenery. And there was no airport, there was no hospital, there was only Ishwarama Hospital. So it was a barren land you would see all around Patti. But today, so Swami's Sankalpa, he then said Vishwa Virat Swarup. That is what we could see by 93, 94. So many things within a span of 10 years' time we could see. Another incident, I would say, once the Rolls-Royce car was brought in, and Swami, the way he was like one among like child, he always says that among the children, I am a child. So we were all standing and, looking at Swami, and Swami went around the car and he said, he went for a small ride. He just came back in a few minutes. He said, my car is very silent car. It doesn't make any sound and no pollution. You should see the expressions that Swami made when he was describing that Rolls-Royce car. And so we had those moments when we have seen Swami behaving like just amongst us, like the playful way, and trying to describe the Rolls-Royce car. And sometimes in 86, I think 87, some spiritual pictures or movies started being shown to us in our institute auditorium. One day there was one movie called Panduranga Mahachyam. Telugu movie was shown. In that, one Telugu actress by name Anjali Devi was the main heroine there. So we all nice song. Swami also sings that song. Jaya Panduranga Prabho Vitala Jagadodhara Hari Vitala. So that song. And next, this is a very nice, the entire song, the movie, that song is really catchy song. So the next day morning when we went for darshan, Swami asked us, oh, how was the movie? Nobody said anything. Swami said, Bhakti means that. And he started describing the way Anjali Devi as an actress has acted in that picture, and said that the devotion should be from the heart. It should not be artificial, but it should be heartful, and so on. And, so Swami again repeated that song in front of us and said that, you always keep Swami in your heart, but do not do it artificially. So that's one incident. Actually, it connects with the other thing that I always say whenever Swami is to sign on our autographs. Always is to repeat the same statement. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your money, your parents' money on these pictures. Keep Swami in your heart forever. That picture is permanent and nobody can shake it. And he always used to say, you love Swami, you keep like this. If you don't, then you are going to turn it this way. So always keep it right in your heart. And he always made us to feel the importance of that heart. Regarding this heart, I would like to still say one more. I know at the end of our third year graduation, Swami gave us an interview. We were almost 75 of us, all streams, commerce, science, and all that. So we were squeezing in. If somebody knows the dimensions of the interview room, 75 people to be there in that, very difficult to sit. Believe it or not, everybody was accommodated. Apart from all these 70, 75 students, one more family was also called in. Uh, I think he's Karan from Delhi, one devotee. Swami asked him, "What do you want?" Swami was just folding his hands and just said nothing. Then Swami asked, "How many of your physics students?" So I was one of the physics students. So very proudly, we were all raising our hands. Then Swami said, "Your physics is nothing." Then he immediately created a shivaling. After he created the shivaling, he said that this is Trinetraling, and there were 3 layers in that. And he explained Chidakasha, Chittakasha, and Bhutakasha. And then he said that the Chittakasha is like the picture on a paper. He took one of the magazines and he said one of the reports, I think one of the management of commerce student was holding a project work. So Swami took that and he said, as you see a picture on this booklet, it's the same thing. Something that is there on this chitta can never be erased. And he also said, all of you are in this interview room today. After many years or some years, whenever you're going to talk about this incident, you would recall this incident that Swami had spoken so and so. That is what is imprinted in your chitta, and that is your heart. And keep it and preserve it. So, and Swami also made a stunning statement when he said that your physics is nothing. He said, I can convert the sky into earth and earth into sky, but I won't do that because I'm also bounded by a dharma. I really don't know what that dharma that he is bounded by when he is the master of the universe. But that anyway, so Swami said that so he used to reveal his divinity just like this sometimes and then become one with us. Then he jokingly spoke to all of us about what careers we should take up, what we should do. And also Swami used to emphasize a lot on the respect and the weightage that we need to give to our parents. You always, after you study, you got your graduation, you got your post-graduation, don't sit here and waste your time. You must go out and, follow Swami's principles, tell the world, show to the world. He never said that you go and give discourses or speak, but he always say you, through your actions, show what you have learned here. That is one thing that he always insists and say that obviously, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. As per that, you must listen to your parents' commands. Is another thing that he always is to insist. After our graduation, of course, I continued for my post-graduation. So another incident happened in my post-graduation first year was our hostel became crowded and it needs to be expanded. So one day Swami just came in to our hostel and Swami said, hostel is, people do not have much space, the senior students, you all need a hostel to be built. It has to be built not on the other side of the road. It has to be built next to this building. And he gave a reason right then and there. He said that, tomorrow, you all are monkeys, can easily jump over the wall and go to Chitravati and run away. If you're on this side of the road and you all can be protected and you all can be safeguarded, security, very important for all the children. And beat all the hostels are on this side of the road. Later on, further, the hostel got expanded and further there was a higher secondary hostel that has come up. All the hostels Swami has built on this side of the left side of the road as you go towards ashram. So Swami is very, very careful in all his plannings, all the things that he has constructed. For every single construction, he used to go around. When Prashanthi Vedika was being built, one picture all of us see where Swami sits on Nandi. You know, and we were playing some match there, some football game or something in the fields, and Swami just, walking around, and yes, brother, this picture, Swami just very casual. You can see Swami wearing even slippers there. So he walked through the building, and you can see some scaffolding backdrop there. So Swami just came, he just sat there. So, and Swami was saying that he just made a statement saying that this, we were all just standing in a line, very few of us, and said, this place, this stage will become world stage. World leaders will come, and it will become a great place. So we really don't know. I mean, his sankalpa is so great that he used to give those glimpses at the, now and then. And always, sometimes whenever he used to, come into the bhajan hall, some student always in the bhajan hall also at that time, we students used to be occupying most of the place there. Devotees, maybe very less, about 10, 15 devotees used to be allowed inside the bhajan hall for, singing bhajans there. Or rest of the devotees outside there. So Swami, whenever he used to come into the bhajan hall, he used to peep through the window. There is a particular window. He used to see how each one of us, what are we doing? Before he gets into the bhajan hall, he used to peep through the window and say, Dunnapota. He always used to have the, a peculiar word of Dunnapota. All of us know he buffalo. So very lovingly used to say, why you people are wasting your time? You must always be focused when you're in the mandir. So he used to very casually, very slowly, lovingly used to take care every small little movement of ours, even in the bhajan hall. Because whenever Swami used to go inside the interview room, we would think that he would come after half an hour or 40 minutes, some kind of timing. But he would come within 15 minutes or 10 minutes sometimes, and we are all haywire. And then we are all like this. Swami is, we are all, whenever Swami is in front of you, you are this way. When I'm not there, you are all in your own monkey way. So that's so small things that Swami used to, but we never realized that he's that divine, kind of thing that we need to keep him there. Another bhajan hall, when it comes to bhajan hall, I would like to share one incident. Bhajans were going on in full swing, and I was not inside the bhajan hall. I was outside the bhajan hall veranda, in the middle of it. So Swami came out of the bhajan hall all of a sudden, but I was closing my eyes and there was a bhajan going on. The bhajan was Ramachandra Prabhu Raghuvansha Rama Sitapate Jaya. Okay, so that's the song that was going on. In that, one line was there, Nava Nava Komala Sri Sai Rama. So when I was closing my eyes and I was singing that bhajan in full throat, one of my brothers next to me nudged me with his elbow, pushed me, and I said, I just opened my eyes. I saw Swami straight, right in front of me, looking straight, and that bliss, when Swami, however far he is, if that look is meant for you, it is for you. That was my experience. So because I was really thrilled for that. Even today, it's right in front. He was swaying in that front of all the students standing there. I was right in the middle of the hall. So veranda, and then Swami, after the bhajan was over, he went in. After 20 years or so, somewhere in 2023 years maybe, I was, in bhajan hall as an alumni student. Somehow I made my way into the bhajan hall. Morning bhajans, because not much crowd in the morning. So students also won't be there. So I just got into the bhajan hall. I sat next to one singer, Ramohan Garu. Ramohan Garu used to sing very loud. His voice is very peculiar and very easily you can identify. He used to sing a lot of bhajans. So I asked him very, hesitantly, Sir, I have one small desire. Can you sing one bhajan called Ramachandra Prabhu? He might have prepared for one bhajan, I don't know. Then Ade Mundaya is a Telugu man, so I just asked him, sir, can you sing this bhajan today? He said, Ramachandra Prabhu, Padastanan. He said, I will sing for you. Believe or not, the moment he started the bhajan, Ramachandra Prabhu, Swami came in and he sat in the throne and just directly looking all and giving a beautiful smile. That bhajan stands forever in my heart because after 23 years, I thought that just I asked him, I never had anything that Swami would also come in that bhajan. But Swami came the moment the bhajan started. So that's one experience of that part. So this is all about what I was as a student. There are many more. Probably I'll go on and on. So after I finished my post graduation in '89, then I went through small jobs here and there, looking for, as usual, some competitive examinations I've written. But in '93, '92 end, some gut feeling in me that I must get into teaching. I gave up that private job and became a lecturer in one of my Guntur, a town called Guntur. My native place actually. My forefathers all belong to that town, but nobody is around there in that town now. So I became a PG lecturer. I wanted to be a lecturer at the intermediate level, but I became a PG lecturer. Though I'm also an M.Sc student, I started teaching mathematical physics. I became a very successful person as a PG lecturer. But all of a sudden, one day, I saw a small newspaper advertisement in Hindu newspaper, very clearly stating that those who are interested to teach +2 level only need apply for a post in one of the private schools in Nairobi, Kenya. It's a very small cut, very small one advertisement. And the so phone number, the what you call address to which the CV has to be sent, etc. There were no mobiles at that time. So I cut it and said that this Kenya, Nairobi, it's looking nice, but then, I'm already a PG lecturer. How am I going to, apply to go down to the 12th class level? So many thoughts in my mind. I just cut it and kept it. I did not respond to it for 10 good days. One fine evening, somehow something prompted me, saying that, okay, you just apply, let us see if they select you, then you can think. And also the mind, the thought was, it is the only country that Swami visited physically. Nowhere else he had gone. Let me just try first. Then I went by my bike all the way at 8 p.m. in the night, and I just couriered my CV. After 3-4 days, I received interview call. Just after 4 days. And that too, interview on a Christmas day. It is a public holiday, December 25th. So it was 96, 97. So 96 December. Because I was already working, I didn't need any permission, anything. So I immediately took a train from Guntur. The interview was in Chennai. So I took an overnight train and just went for interview. Believe it or not, the person who called for the interview was Mr. Balaraman. Moment I walked in, he said, oh, you studied in Sathya Sai University? Yes, sir. And he asked a few questions. After I answered all of them, then he said, I'm selecting you. I said, okay. He said, I have met Sathya Sai Baba in 1969. And he went on telling about his experience, what interaction he had with Swami. I will take it up some other time little later on this. But Balaraman said, you are a Swami student, I'm selecting you. I have interviewed 19 students today, 19 candidates. You are the 19th candidate, and I'm taking you in because I know Sathya Sai Baba. That is the connection there when I said that I kept 10 good days not applying, and that prompt, that last minute thought that when it was just a 1 day or 2 days to expire for the last date, I go and drop in there. So Swami is all the time with us, unseen hand, guiding us. Now coming to Kenya, and how I was pulled into Swami's activities, Swami's organization, unbelievable. I think I would say again that Swami is always unseen hand this way, and also one step you take towards me, I take 100 steps. It's simple that 6 months after I arrived in Nairobi, I never moved out of my premises except for probably some buying some provisions. I went alone. I could not take my family at that time because there were elections going on, and I was advised not to go with my family. After I get settled and things are settled down in terms of security, then I can bring my family. 6 months down or so, one Telugu professor visited our premises where some of our staff members used to stay. So then the Telugu professor said, I will take you and introduce you to so many Telugu people. So you will have some company. For 6 months, you have not met anybody. So then he just took me there. And I told one of our, I saw, as I entered that house, I saw one calendar there, the annual calendar there. Yellow robe of Swami with two hands up like this, and then down below, it was written Sri Sathya Sai Center, Kenya, Wayaki Way. Then I asked them, how far is this center, Sathya Sai Center from here? And then they said, why you want Sathya Sai Center? Somebody asked me. I said, sir, I'm Swami student, so I just want to go and say where that center is and I want to have his darshan. Oh, why not? We'll arrange some vehicle for you. Somebody will come and take you. And, I just saw the picture there and the way I was pulled into the center there. Somebody came within half an hour. I was there for darshan. It was a Saturday. I was there for bhajans. And moment everybody came to know I'm Swami student and also I'm in teaching. So the rest of the things followed, that they asked me to be a Balvikas teacher, then EHV coordinator. And it's a long story of even becoming a committee member for Sai Center and Swami School and so on. Brother Kamdhar, that's why I wanted to tell that once he saw me, and he used to work one end of Nairobi in one of the companies. He used to come all the way to my campus there. He used to pick me up for the bhajans. And the amount of physical effort and even that heart that Brother Kamdar had at that time has helped me literally to get back into Swami's world, into Swami's organization, and further to do the service and seva. But for Brother Kamdar, probably I would not have heard that, so he used to lovingly come, pick me up even over the Friday evening and drop me back only on Sunday. Because in his house, some bhajans used to happen on Friday, some satsang, then go on for Narayan Seva on Saturday morning, then do bhajans also there on Saturday evening. It's the whole 2 days. I used to have a wonderful time there. After my family came also. So Brother Kamdar used to do this. So that's, I'm indebted to have such support at that time. So then that's how it went on. Then coming to Sathya Sai School in 1998. So because I am a Swami student and I was working in a Premier Academy, and the Sathya Sai organization decided 4 more African students, African teachers and myself, to be sponsored to EHV conference, first world EHV conference in Puttaparthi. So we all went because of the organization has sponsored. We went for the conference. The last day of the conference, Swami picked up one of the African teachers and said, how many of you? We decided that Swami asked 4 of you plus myself, because including me, 5. So if Swami asks me, I will say 5. If Swami asks you, say 5 safely. So obviously all 4 of them went. I was actually sitting in the old student side because I didn't want to miss any chance. If Swami comes on old student side, I would get up and ask. If they get first number 1, then they would ask on the devotees side. So then Swami, called for interviews. After I followed 4 of them, I went all the way there. Swami looked at me and said, in Telugu he asked me, as if he still remembers me. So obviously he remembers, of course. "Nuvekkadi nunchi vachavu? Where did you come from?" So as if he has not called me. So, "Swami, I'm from Nairobi." Swami said, "Okay, go in." And then in the interview, he asked lovingly few questions: how many children you have, what are you all teaching, general things. Then Swami said, "You're all lucky boys, so continue to do your work. Next year Swami school is coming in Nairobi." This is the word he said. Next year Swami school is coming in Nairobi. That time there is no school there also, and there was no foundation stone. Nothing has been put up at the moment yet. So Swami school is coming next year. So you all keep doing your good work, and Swami will take care of you. And then, Swami said, "I'll give you white pant and white shirt." So what I want to say is, and when 20 years ago, when I was a student also, Swami used to say, "I do not have secretaries." He himself personally went inside, took out those 5 pairs of white pant, white shirt clothes. He carried himself and brought it and gave it to each one of us. You know, so that is the love, and that is the commitment. As a, Swami always used, even a tumbler of water, Swami never would ask anyone. He always used to go and take himself. So these are the things. So then Swami also asked me one thing: where is my ring? When he looked at me and he asked me, "Where is my ring?" I said, "Swami, in 7 years, my thought was 7 years of my stay, you never give me anything. So why are you asking me where is your ring?" Then I put my both the hands like this to him only. Then Swami said, I was wearing one ring on my first finger at that time, a stone studded ring given by astrologer. Swami said, "This is not my ring." Then I was thinking in my mind, what can I do? And then Swami created a ring and put it on my finger. The connection for that was that when I finished my post graduation in 89, when I went home in 1990, my mother gave one Balaji ring. Lord Balaji is our Ishtadevata. So she gave me one ring and said, "Oh, you wear it, it will be good because he's our house deity." So then she told me that, wear it and keep it with you always. But I told her immediately at that time only, to her only and nobody else I have shared in 90, that I want to make this ring to Swami's ring. I want to convert this Balaji ring into Swami's ring. And I forgot completely about it. My mother said, "You cannot convert this ring. If you want to get it done, you get another Swami's ring, no problem." And got married, family, everything. And I forgot completely about it, that I asked my mom that I wanted to have Swami's ring. Swami fulfills your innermost desires. That is where he is divine. But I asked only my mom in 89, 90 there, and after 10 years, he fulfills the desire. So these are a couple of things. Then going back to I think in Kenya, we had a great opportunity of, serving those children. It's not, one small incident happened that confirmed that though Swami did not physically tell me that go and serve the Sathya Sai school or anything, though we had the interview, Swami said next year the school is coming and so on. Then I used to do light meditation. And at that time, Arundation approached to me saying that, brother, please be the head teacher there. So we can, establish the school. We can, community people also, workshops can be conducted, and we can take the Swami student and so on and so forth. I said, yes. But in my heart of hearts, still I have that lurking fear of, leaving that job in the city, Nairobi, and going to 80 kilometers far from Nairobi and so on. So I was looking for some kind of sign from Swami. So that time my family was not with me. They were still they came to Nairobi. They stayed some time with me. Again, they went back to India. So I used to do some light meditation, Swami's Jyoti meditation. So when I was doing Jyoti meditation, one day I found a cross on Swami's Abhayahasta. That picture we see this, at the backdrop, that picture, Swami's picture, I could see the cross, light of cross forming on the Swami's hand. I said that, oh, this is something, how is it happening? The candle, the light meditation, you're supposed to keep the candle light was, I'm a physics man, so the physics started working. So the height of the candle started reducing. There was a Ganesha, a small plastic Ganesha Murti there in front of that candle, and the light was passing through that, and the light passing through that Ganesha statue, falling on Swami's hand, Abhaya Hasta, and that forming exactly in the form of a cross. I said, I mean, that some kind of an indication. I thought that yes, this is some kind of an indication that love all, serve all, and Swami is asking me to take care of the kids. I knew that in most of the Kenyan kids are all belong to Christian religion, etc., and they're all needy children. Swami is never going to like about using the word orphans at all. Swami always used to call them needy children. So I never dare use that. So this is one of the pictures. This school has transformed from what you're seeing today. There's a wonderful multi-purpose hall today. Great effort from all the devotees of Nairobi. This is a beautiful transformation that school has developed from primary school. This is grade 1, 2, 3 students, what you're seeing today here in the picture. But today, even secondary school also has started there, and great service is being done in Sathya Sai School Kisaju. So that's my wife there, and my son also, proudly I would say, he's in the front rows, second one, first kneeling down boy. So the second boy, he also studied grade 1 and 2 along with me there. So it was proudly I would say that Swami's grace, he's now doing his masters in France. He's doing masters in aerospace engineering. So my point is that Swami had given an opportunity. It's not that I have decided or it's this one. He had given that indication for the service. All the devotees have supported that the school was possible there. And today still the seva is continuing. So after I finished Kenya there, for various reasons, I had to move from Sathya Sai School for my own, my father's son to continue for his own studies, etc. So moved on to India. After I came back to India also, there are a couple of incidents I would like to share with you all. See, I was working in Hyderabad. I had to move from Hyderabad. I was looking for a job. I left one institution, and all of a sudden one day I received a call saying that you come and attend an interview in Kolkata. This was in the year 2013, after Swami was physically no more. And they gave me to and fro air ticket also from Hyderabad to Kolkata to attend the interview. Then while I was in the flight, I just had a thought. I said, Swami, why are you sending me all the way to Kolkata? And you have never been to Kolkata. When I went to Kenya, I thought that Swami, you went to Kenya, you're the only country that you visited. That was the thought. When I'm going to Kolkata, I said, Swami, you have not been to Kolkata, and why are you sending me there? To my utter surprise, I landed there. The moment I sat in the car, the taxi, I saw a big bus with Swami's two hands like this, the picture and big letters, love all, serve all. So that was one stunning experience that I had, and I can always say that Swami is with us in every moment, guarding us with his unseen hand, as I say. If we have our intentions and our thoughts are clear in our heart, he is there to guide and help us. I think, brother, I have taken almost 45 minutes.
Oh, it's been, yeah, whenever you're comfortable. If you've got more, do we have a few more minutes? Else, yeah, it's up to you. It's all your choice on what you have to share.
So, Swami, I think
maybe a little more on the school would be interesting, just to see how anything that from the formation to those 2 years. I'm sure there are so many stories associated with that.
I just want to say how Swami's teachings could be translated in that establishment of Sathya Sai School. See, the whole school concept was self-sufficient. We wanted to make sure that this is the picture my son with brother Kanu, Victor Kanu visited the school, and brother Kuldeep here. So there, we have that school was built in a 20 acres campus. It's a 20 acres campus with a very great vision that it should be a self-sufficient school wherein farming also to be done to get the produce for the children, the need for the children. So 6 acres was earmarked for growing their staple food, maize, beans, and all the vegetables. So to my great surprise, that land was a virgin land. It was never touched for farming. It's in Masai land. Masai land is never plowed because there's hardly any water. There's one miracle I just want to share with you all. In Kenya, it's very, very difficult to get underground water. So this particular place in Sathya Sai School, when they were trying to look for water, they've gone so deep. If I remember right, it is something like 1100 feet, not 110, but 1100 to maybe Brother Kamdar, if you can correct me on this. I don't remember the actual feet. It's a great depth that they were trying to. Can you unmute Brother Kamdar?
Yeah, I'll try doing. Yeah. I'll do that. You have to unmute yourself, Brother Kamdar. You have to unmute yourself. There's a button. Yeah.
No.
Brother Kamdar, can you share about the water? How
Yes.
the water? What the distance?
Exactly, I don't remember, but the total was coming to 9. And it was very deep, as you said.
Yeah.
And it was so much of water was found, and entire construction of the school, water was fed from that bore well. And even now, we have got secondary schools also, and the staff is about 45, and students are about 250, but we are managing with the water which is available from that borehole. Now we have also got another borehole so that there is no shortage of water. And another miracle was, Brother Bauri was one of the trustee, was in, I think, no, not Puttaparthi, in Bangalore. What is that? Whitefield, with the maps of the school and the center, because center and school both were built at the same time. So Swami came to Brother Bauri and he blessed both the plans, and he says everything will be fine. So actually he blessed both the things, and then he gave a talk same evening that whoever has got any plans in the name of Swami, whether Swami blesses or personally or not, it will come well. Swami's blessing will be there all the time, and that is how this school and center has come up. Swami's blessings are always there.
Yeah, I think, brother, I would just like to add.
Since you told me to speak,
yes,
let me tell about the lingam, which you didn't mention one item.
Yeah,
that when Brother Anil Mehta got this lingam, he told, as you said, that this is not for you, it is for the Science Center in Nairobi. Then Swami, he told that, you told me that you will give me this lingam, that also you mentioned. But then Swami said, you leave this lingam in the altar of the center. And that time we did not have this big center. We had a small cottage and nobody was staying there. And Kenya, there is always robberies and other things takes place. So Anil Mehta told Swami, okay, Swami, we will put it on the altar, but there is no security and nobody is staying. Then Swami mentioned that you put this on your altar of the center and nobody in the world can steal this. That is Swami. And then he went into further that he told that this lingam will have a healing power. So anybody who is sick or needy, they can pour water and then drink. It will help healing. And that is the story of that lingam, which is in our altar at the moment in the center.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sai Ram, brother. Thank you so much. I think for adding this, one more point I would like to add about the water that was stuck in Sai Swami's school, Sathya Sai
Yes.
School it was tested. When sent for testing, it is
Yes.
pure mineral water. They said it can be bottled and sold straight away without any further refinement. So that is the purity of the water, and the purity of purpose is clear. I think Swami is always there to take care of our needs.
Actually, I forgot to tell, when Swami blessed those plants, at that very moment they stuck water in the school.
Yeah, correct, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So, brother, I just want to add on. Then what happened was there were a lot of workshops that were conducted for the head teachers in and around the school, and the awareness about Swami's teachings, and slowly it started as a process. Then a lot of things have happened. Today, after 20 years, now it's actually 20th year of Sathya Sai School, because first batch started in 2001 January. So I would like to share one more incident. It is something to do with the ring that Swami had given. In the year 2000, mid of 2000, I think I gave up the job in Nairobi formally, and I was for Sai's work. So on 23rd December, because from 9th January, we are supposed to start the school 2001. I went for some purchase of items. Sports items. That was one thing that was missed out. I thought that the first day when the children come, they need some football or some other items to play. So I just went to the city, and I bought all the items that play items that were required, and it was all packed in a box. And one of the helper was holding the box, and me and the helper were trying to cross the road. The name of the road is, I think it's the middle of the city center. So I was just it's a dual carriage road, very prominent road in Nairobi. So I was on one side of the road, and I was supposed to catch the vehicle on the other side. So just around the divider there, the robbery is rampant in Nairobi. I saw that something struck my neck. So I was caught by neck right in the middle of the road. It was 11 a.m. It's broad daylight. And all of a sudden, there was a huge pressure on my throat. And 2 or 3 people started taking off everything from me. They pulled my bag that was there in my hand and emptied my pockets, and the watch was taken. But the bag that I was holding on my left hand had Swami's school file, all the papers related to the school. And that folder has Swami's picture, what we see today at Samadhi. Swami's picture on that file. When these guys, could not find anything in my pockets much, maybe 2,000 shillings and a mobile, and they pulled hard that bag. So that polythene bag came off my hand and it fell down on the road. When I opened my eyes, first thing I could see only Swami's picture there, right on that. And the ring that Swami gave in 1999 or 98 was what was on my hand. So Swami knew everything. So in advance, he had given that. Of course, protection is always there, but he gives indications. He gives always the protection there. So 2001, the school started, and with 9 children and 2 teachers. So my family, with my wife and my son, it all went on very well. And of course, a lot of facilities have added up over the time. Okay, so a lot of hardships probably in the initial stages were there, but it took just some time for everything to be in place. And today is a wonderful school to look at. And it is serving, I think, around 250 children or so, or 300 children, right from class 1 to secondary level. So and human values have been, the integration of the human values into Kenyan national curriculum was also another effort that was done right from day one onwards. Lesson planning or worksheets, everything, took some time, but year on year, the classes were added. And today the school is full-fledged secondary school as well. So therefore, Swami's work, anything that starts, and his blessings, as brother said, blessings are there or not, but your heart and your intention is pure and clear, it reaches out to the needy people, the required people, as and when it is needed and as per his sankalpa.
Wonderful, wonderful, brother. I mean, no words to explain how Swami has his way of sending people to the places, getting them back into the fold. If we try to be on our own, and brings us back into the journey that he has all of us to go through and be part of his mission. It's amazing, I should say, to hear about the school. We have read a lot about it. We use a lot of reference material of conferences that happen in the school in EHV, because there's a lot of material on the web, and it's always been inquisitive for us to know more about it. We've all read about how the school evolved. Today, having you and Brother Kamdar as well sharing the same, it's Swami Sankalpa again to share that when something he decides or wills to happen, it will happen. And we are nothing but instruments in his hand. Indeed. If anyone has any questions, we will, it's a good time to ask. I notice there are quite a few. Anyone who has anything that you want to ask on the school or activities in Kenya?
And just on the lighter vein, brother, you said that Swami demonstrated that when you get angry, he went and drank a glass of water. Now I know why I drink 2 liters of water every day.
No, the thing is that Swami, okay, he had gone inside, he drank, but he comes out and he reveals also, says that you'll follow like this. So that's...
Yeah, actually, Swami, yeah, I think you reminded for Balvikas, yeah, we have prepared the material. Swami has said, stand in front of the mirror, count 1 to 10 and drink water. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Hi, Ram. If there are, I don't see anything coming on the chat. If there are no questions, then we will end. I would like to express, Haryana could not join today. He's got something at home. His apologies for not being there. He just wanted me to relay the same. And thank you, brother, for we are blessed to have you in Singapore. And we hope we will get to hear more. And we hope you will continue to also help us out in the EHV part of things here in Singapore and inspire more people to take up the work of teaching and human values as such. And I think the school in Kenya does a lot on those value-based curriculum and content preparation. With that, gratefulness to Swami. Thank you very, very much for being part
Thank
of
you, brother. Venkatraman, I think that's what, as I started with saying, that wonderful thing that you are doing. And giving us...
Yet again, it started off as a study circle for our center. It evolved because there were people who said that the experiences of students need to be recorded and shared. And I can't tell you that every week we get one little snippet. I mean, I've probably heard it before about rolling your ego on chapati or while you roll and things like that. Every week we get to have one little takeaway that comes from a talk that stays in our head. And also these talks get shared, and there are so many of them listening. And I just hope that this continues on, and Swami has his own way of bringing his students onto this platform and sharing. And we are all blessed. All I am doing is facilitating the Zoom link. That's it, period. It's his will. It's his sankalpa. It's him getting you to talk every week. And with that, let's continue our prayers with 21 Samastalokas for everyone's well-being, to to face COVID as it comes and also come out of it unharmed. And looking forward to next week. As always, I do not know who is the speaker. He knows. I will get to know, and you will get to know. Looking with that, we will finish off with 21 Samasta Lokas. Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai. Sai Ram, till the next week. Have a wonderful week ahead. Stay safe, stay blessed. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Nikat.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram.